Hello, welcome to episode 15. I'm Jeff, aka Billy Goat. That's Paul, aka Paul, and that's Jim, also known as a congressman, our returning guest for the third time. He's way on top of the leaderboard. I'm sorry we've been away for a minute. Life's been hectic, I guess. Paul's been in New Jersey, and your beard is stupid. Why are you pointing to yourself?
I said it was my fault.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm wearing the Neil Brown t-shirt again.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
For a special occasion because Paul rolled the tape.
Oh my goodness.
If you've been paying attention, this is in Colorado. The first time I saw the video, I had to double check and wait for another source to come out because I'm like, no way, this isn't America. I thought it was actually in Venezuela. If there's sound, I can't hear. Anyway, they're taking over the building, and I've seen reports up to 10 different apartments as of a couple of hours ago, but I can't confirm that source. But it reminds me of New Jack City when they take over the Carter building.
You're not thinking of taking over the Carter.
Yeah, we taking over the Carter. We gonna bum rush the whole damn thing.
When they go up, they kick in all the doors and all the windows, or they kick in all the doors, they take over the building, they make it the crack spot.
Do things, bad things, but then do things, bad things, but then.
It's like the best New Jack City song. Did you ever see New Jack City? It's probably on something you can watch for free tonight. So I don't know if anybody else has seen that, but apparently the gangs are running wild in Colorado. And it's just going to get worse.
That's exactly what it reminded me of when I first saw it. I saw the mayor speaking yesterday too, the mayor of Aurora, and I think he confirmed that it was 2 buildings, but I've heard it's more now. I've heard they've taken over 3 buildings, allegedly.
Yeah, well, I saw 8 to 10, but I saw the mayor also. First he said no.
10?
8 to 10 is what one of them said.
Wow.
And,
so
before there's go ahead.
So obviously this has hit the corporate news channels, right? They're reporting on this.
Yeah, I believe I saw on Fox or MSNBC at least.
What's their
if
motivation?
What was that, Jim?
What's their motivation? Like, do they have a purpose?
I don't know. I mean, I would assume I guess I just jumped to the Carter and assume they're pushing weight out of there. There's some kind of criminal activity.
I mean, do we think it's drugs?
I don't know, but I mean, at the same time, like once word gets out, they're going to swat the shit out of that building.
That was going to be my question is, what is the general response? Now that this has hit corporate news and, the roughly the entire company is seeing it, what's the response to this? Is there a response?
Well, it really depends on how they're running the business, I guess. Are they being smart about it? Like, are they selling product out of one, but the buildings are connected like through, like this happened on Power, but it's also a true story. And I think they did it in the Carter too. They'll have apartments on top of each other, and the one spot is selling the product. And if it gets raided or whatever, there was like a hole in the stove that went down to the floor below them. And they sent all the product down because they don't have a warrant for the one below. You know what I mean? And then they'll move apartments all the time. And they did it in The Wire, too. Like, it's never the same spot twice. And then if you own the building, you can tell who's coming in and who's coming out. And you know everyone on the strip, everyone on each floor, what they're doing. And it's not like and the cops can't technically kick in every door. They do have the law technically on their side. It's the game.
So to go back, when I said what is the response going to be, I didn't mean for them particularly. What is the response from the United States? What is the response from the state of Colorado? What is the response from the city of Aurora? Is there a response? Do they remove them? Do they swap them? Do they allow them to operate? What happens?
Well, that's what I was saying. Is like, how do you remove them if they're smart about it? It won't be easy. But again, there's video of it right now. I mean, this isn't the Carter.
Right. Yeah, and I remember from like the movie, and I'm sure they do this in The Wire and various other trap spots, for decades across the country. But they will usually have a lookout, or they have several lookouts on the top of the building. If the cops are coming, they tip them off. So they know that they're coming.
Kids got drones and shit now. Yeah, but I mean,
Right.
if you see them, I mean, if the residents come out and say, "Hey, they took over my apartment, go in and get them," that's one thing. But if they control the building and they have the tenants as like hostages, you know what I mean? Like, don't say anything or we'll kill your kids.
Right. Do we know if there's any hostages at this point, or
No, it's always a video of them taking it over. They're keeping it all in the hush hush for now. Or I'm behind the times. It could have happened in the last few hours when I was playing video games.
fair?
Using my time efficiently.
You got a take on this, Jim? You feeling any type of way, or
No, I don't know why they're doing it. Like that's why I asked their motivation. So it's hard to make truly comment, wondering why they're doing
Sometimes people just want to see the world burn, Jim.
it. Well, that's true, but if that's what the motivation is, then I'm going to think differently about it than if they're like homeless or something. I don't know.
Some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
and these guys obviously have firearms. I mean, this one dude has what looks like a rifle to me. Where'd they get that from?
Well, it's Colorado. I mean, it looks like a hunting rifle, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's got a scope on it and stuff.
Yeah, but it has like the wooden. It looks like it doesn't look like an AK or an AR.
Yeah.
It looks like he's out there looking for deer.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it could
you
be.
use- right?
I just think that this is, it's. I don't want to go into the whole gun argument thing or the whole gun control thing, but I'm going to go out on a very short limb and assume that these guys didn't obtain these weapons legally. That was my point.
Well, I doubt any of them are here legally.
Right. So again, it's just an argument against gun control because again, if it's not going to stop things like this from happening, what's the point?
Well, I think you. Well, I mean,
Well, you can't really say something like that without getting into it then. Because that's not the point of the second. The point of the second is to fight tyranny, not to catch a deer.
Right. Jim, I don't know if it's like a salt and pepper thing you got going on, but your beard, it looks funky like on cam. It looks like you got yeah. It's just,
yeah. It's just this is white. His gray hair, it sort of that's not showing up.
Oh, I
that's
got
what
that.
it is. Yeah, it looks like you got some kind of like pirate-esque beard going on from the camera.
Yeah, it's like that's not there. Yeah, the low lighting probably does that, makes that even worse because it's grainy.
Or better, depending on how you're looking at it.
Yeah, never know.
Yeah, so obviously, there's this gang that's essentially taking over this apartment building, or like as you said, somewhere between 8 and 10 apartment buildings in Aurora.
Well, it's true, but the numbers are up. I mean, if the estimates are true, I've seen like 15 to 20 million people have come over illegally since in the last 4 years. They got to go somewhere.
I've heard it's more, but who knows?
What numbers have you heard? I mean, whatever.
Somewhere between 20 and 50 million over the last 4 years, but
I mean, it's possible. We've seen the videos, and if it's happened like that all the time.
there's a guy I follow. His name's it's like JJ something. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but he's actually about to release a documentary because he's been following this immigration thing now for a couple of years. So maybe we'll just wait because I'm sure there'll be a lot of information that he has that maybe a lot of other people don't have, including myself.
There's the guy who wrote the book a couple of years ago. He has I think Ironclad is now the name of his YouTube channel, and he was a border patrol guy.
Oh, it's the same. Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Same guy. Yeah, he's like border patrol for whatever 12, 14 years, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, and then he quit his job and now he's a journalist. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like the. Did we ever talk about The War is a Racket? That book, Jim. Have you heard of that?
Say it again.
War is a Racket.
Oh no.
The dude who wrote it, he was some kind of general, and he has an interesting name. I forget. Paul, if you look up "War is a Racket," you'll get the guy's name.
Pulling it up now.
But basically, the essence of his like short book, like it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like the Murray Rothbard's Anatomy of the State. It's like 20 to 30 pages, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
And he was a general and whatever, like back in before World War I, 19, like in that ballpark. And he's like, I've been all over the world saving rich man's bananas and farms and this and that, and all about how all the wars that he fought were always on behalf of some kind of elite. In the go read the bio of it, Paul. The little summary.
It says, War is a Racket is a speech and a 1935 short book by Smedley D. Butler, a retired... Smedley. That's awesome. A retired United States Marine Corps Major General and two-time Medal of Honor recipient. Based on his military experience, Butler discusses how business interests commercially benefit, such as war profiteering from warfare.
There you go. But he gets into all the little missions that he did around the world, mostly in South America, probably during that time, to increase the profits of the elite. So not much has changed in 140 years.
Well, I think I don't know about Jim, but we're familiar with some of this. Like the military-industrial complex, Raytheon, Boeing, and all the various others.
Those guys came after World War II. I mean, this is before, like, I'm pretty sure this Chiquita banana that we had a banana war, right? We went down and sent troops into South America to help secure the rights of bananas for some dude in the United States.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Sounds like the CIA.
Before the CIA, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The military-industrial complex didn't really start until World War II.
Which the CIA existed. They were the OSS, I believe, at that time.
Yeah, but they also came into formation because of the war.
Yes, and they were also disbanded after the war ended, and then rebanded for either the Korean War or Vietnam War. I can't remember. And then they never went away after that. There was no disbanding of it after the war ended, which is where we are today.
What's the next video you got for me there, buddy?
So the next one is I do want to give a disclaimer for anybody who might be a little sensitive or squeamish, but it's a
hit.
It's a hit in Philly.
It's a Philly
and it's
gang
graphic.
Hit. And just play it.
I'm going to play it, but I like to give fair warning,
Please.
Hey,
the one video I won't share. I watched it one time. Yeah, I'll tell you about it in a second. Go ahead.
All right, fair warning. It's 20 seconds. Here we
Shut
go.
up and just play the fucking video. This poor bastard's riding his bike. Oh shit! Damn, that's fucking crazy. Isn't that crazy?
That's awful. Poor dude.
That's a hit, dude.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
I can watch shit like this all day long. But yesterday, a cop in Iowa shot a dog because he's a piece of shit. And I watched that thing once, and I won't watch it anymore. I can watch gangbangers and cops kill each other all day long, but the cop shot a dog, I got all pissed. I'm surprised you haven't seen it. It was all over Twitter today.
The dog video?
The dog who got shot by the cop in Iowa?
No. That stuff breaks my heart, too.
Yeah. Did you not listen to the last, 30 seconds of me talking?
Yeah, I heard you. I just didn't know if you were asking if I saw the dog video or the dude getting shot on the bike. I just needed clarification.
Are you listening to me at all?
Why don't you listen to me?
What are you doing?
Oh,
What's the
God.
next one?
We'll just all just sit here and ignore each other. For,
Don't mind Paul. He doesn't listen to anybody.
He's like, and you're a
Right.
total tool.
Yeah.
You're not really listening to me, are you?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I could say anything right now, like, you're a complete tool.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't hear it, 'cause you're a freak with a microphone.
Uh-huh.
It's not even challenging anymore. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. Isn't that true, Sphincter Boy?
Uh-huh. What? Oh!
Oh,
All right. So the next one I got is some people being arrested in the UK for apparently talking.
oh yeah, because UK is arresting people for talking shit on Facebook.
Apparently that's illegal now. I guess. What is going on in the UK? Like, seriously, what is going on over there?
They're wilding out. Well, it's a lot of Europe.
Yeah, I
It's a
know.
big- it's a conspiracy.
Conspiracy charges. All right, let's play it because I haven't seen this one.
People assembling.
Are you saying this at the time?
I thought it's detained at this time.
At the moment, the time is 1847, okay? Approaching on correct. To infrastructure in the UK, okay? I can't have to say it. You don't have to say anything, but it may not be offensive if you're not mentioning confession. Some people should make it behind. If you do say it, maybe give it. Okay? Yeah.
So, the grounds are that by taking part in the organisation of this event this evening, I suspect that you are taking part to cause serious disruption to UK airports.
The politicians have failed us. They've failed us with the 1.5% that's supposed to degrees that's supposed to keep us safe. Good luck, everybody.
Hi, so my name's Daniel. I'm being arrested. I'm not really sure why. I'm at my parents' house right now. I was just here in London visiting my parents. I think I've been told I'm under arrest for conspiracy to commit a public nuisance. Well, this is what happens when you resist the British state.
Are you saying this at the time? I thought it's detained at this time.
Okay. So I know, obviously, it's the UK. They don't, their constitution, their laws are different. Is this something that's illegal in the UK? That maybe you guys?
I think
know?
they have rules against it in Canada, and it's under the guise of the U.S. is trying to pass something now. Rand Paul had a whole big thing about it a couple of weeks ago. We haven't had a chance to talk about it. It's the it has some stupid name, like it's like SOSA or COSA. It's like Kids Online Surveillance Act, and it's under the the state of there's shit on the internet that kids can't see, so it's okay to censor it. It's just the step into censorship.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos like this. I watched one earlier with a kid in Ireland, and the cops show up to his house. 4 cops to arrest some kid in Ireland because he posted something on social media. It wasn't like threatening. He just refused to go along with whatever the agenda was.
They're usually upset about immigration right now.
I saw that, yeah.
There's roaming bands of people. Like I saw one today. They were like 15 dudes beat up a 15-year-old British girl.
Oh, the one that was left all bloodied and stuff on the ground? I saw that.
Yeah. And there's a fake one going around of 2 guys beating up a Trump girl. It's so fake. But I've seen it make the hits already. People are like, look, this is what happened. But I saw the video, and there's like a 10-second video of her on the ground. The one dude's yelling at her, and then the other guy's like kicking her in her shoes, like a soccer kick. His foot's like sideways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw that.
And she has like a bloody lip and a bloody ear, but it looks so fake. I saw the video before I saw the pictures, so you're gonna see it on all over Twitter. It's like Jesse Smollett fake. Actually, it's probably even worse than that.
It's also tough when the videos are like edited like that, because if you don't see how it started,
you can tell right away how fake it is. They're not kicking her. They're like she's on the ground, like holding her legs, like with their head down between her knees, and he's kicking her in the shoes, but like not hard. And the one guy's like, "You don't come around here, Trump supporters." And they're both black, obviously, and she's white.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Fuck you, white ass bitch! Bitch! Motherfucking fucking Trump racist motherfucking supporter! What the fuck are you doing here? Don't fucking see you anymore! You hear me? Fuck you! Fuck Trump! Fuck all you fucking supporters! Fuck out of this place! I'm out!
Gonna see it.
I did see it. I just didn't. I didn't watch the whole thing. But again, I think I checked out because of the editing. Like, how do I know that this occurred because she's a Trump supporter? I don't know that. She's just wearing a Trump shirt. Maybe she punched the dude first. I don't know.
Maybe I'm so used to seeing all these like influencers trying to make fake videos look like they're happening. Like, you see a lot of it with crime. They're like, "Oh my god, he stole my purse!" And out of nowhere, someone comes and stops the guy. He's like, "Oh, here's your purse, man." But you can tell it's like cheesy acting as opposed to not really caught on camera.
It's like some WWE shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're better actors than these people.
Right.
Go to the next one. What do you got? The dude singing?
The guy singing, yeah.
All right, you can play that if you want. It's like I think it's less than 2 minutes.
I like it. I think it's great. Yeah, it is less than 2 minutes. Let's play it just because this guy's got some.
I can eat my Uncrustable.
The UK's fucked up and there's no one coming over to save me. Elon Musk is trying to beat with Keir Starmer, it's crazy. All that we want is our borders closed, but all that we got is you, Edwards and closed. If I speak my mind, then I am far right. I guess I better pack my bags, cause I'm fucking off over to Poland, where the streets are safe, and you're not here to lock me up in jail over a comment I'll put on Facebook. I guess I kinda like the way you push me away. We're patriotic, but one thing is that we are not racist. I try and see a doctor, but my time is wasted. I'm not being funny, but where are the kids? No women inside, just bet on those ships. Stop giving them money and sort out our shit. I guess you'd rather make more friends like Jimmy and Phil over in Poland. They keep their streets safe, and you're not here to lock me up in jail over some comments I left on Facebook. I guess I kinda like the way you push me away.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's good. He even has like a satire sign. I don't know if you saw that, like in front of him, like right here, just in case. I'm pretty sure he's being serious.
It's a good jam, though. The original.
Yeah. Definitely hyping up Poland. Did anybody move to Poland since
Poland's got different rules, buddy.
Poland has what?
They have different rules. They treat their borders way different.
Well, Poland.
You don't fuck around. They have different kind. They don't have immigration like that. They stop your ass. They beat you up.
Well, Poland's obviously had to police its borders over the years for other reasons. So,
well, they let in like 2 million Ukrainians already. That's why they're like, no more for us. And they don't deal with the guys coming across on the, well, they don't have the Mediterranean coastline in Poland, but they don't deal with the guys coming up on the boats through the beaches and just running up on shore.
Right. Yeah, this seems to be a reoccurring theme. Again, like we were just saying, not just in England, but in Ireland and other countries as well, where all of a sudden you can't like, speak your
Germany,
mind.
France.
Yeah, if you speak your mind, you get arrested, or it's just that's crazy.
Well, I saw a meme today, but I guess the estate of George Orwell, like who owns his copyrights to his book 1984 and the other stuff, they approved a new version of the book featuring from a feminist, not a feminist, but a woman's point of view. So it's kind of ironic that the book written about state propaganda is about to get rewritten for state propaganda.
Very Orwellian.
Oh, the irony.
Very Orwellian, yeah.
Yeah. I bet George didn't predict that one, though, did he? Or maybe he did.
No, he did.
Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. This is
Have you ever read that?
No, I want to watch the movie though.
I haven't read it in years.
I just keep hearing how
1984.
relevant it is. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you read
Jim.
it, Jim?
We had to read it in high school.
We might have. I know my sister's kid did. I didn't have to read it in high school. If I did, I didn't read it anyway. But
And the Animal Farm. And
Uh-uh.
Brave New World.
I read Animal Farm later in life.
Brave New World's a good one too.
I'm surprised they actually made you read that though, Jim. Just a
Yeah,
little surprised.
I'm
that it
old
was in
enough
the-
where
Well, no, my sister's kids in Virginia, they had to read 1984 and Animal Farm.
Really?
Maybe we were just in too much remedial English, Paul. That they weren't giving us the complex shit.
Maybe.
We were still on Dr. Seuss.
and
Nobody was
I'm at
copying
least
our
old-
papers,
I'm
that's
at
for
least
sure.
old enough where the book was relevant, and it wasn't 1984 yet.
Oh, true.
You know, so it was something we were like, oh, it was like Y2K, like the world was going to end or whatever it was, you know. What year was it? It was like December 21st, 2012 or something. The world.
So that's the Aztec one, right?
So once it's past that date, it doesn't have the same effect. But when I was a kid, 1984 was this dystopian future, and it actually was.
You found it in the fiction section. Nowadays, it's probably in the nonfiction section.
The in school, we had to read a lot of like a lot of Shakespeare.
Yeah,
shit like that. What else do we have? What's the one with Boo Ridley or Boo Radley? Kill a Mockingbird. We're supposed to read that.
Yeah.
Remember we read Hatchet.
Yep.
And then there's a book, I can never remember the name of the book, but they ended up making a movie about it with Michael Douglas and Ryan Felipe when he goes out to like hunt in like Utah, like out in the desert, and he accidentally shoots the dude. Like Kurt Douglas is the super rich trophy hunter, and Ryan Felipe is like the local who takes him out to go hunt a ram or some shit. And the guy thinks he sees a ram, but he shoots some dude who lives in the desert. And then the guy's like, well, I'm not getting in trouble for murder, so now I'm going to hunt you. And then he spends 3 days hunting the guy. But I remember I actually had to read that one. Or I did actually read it for school. Because in English, I never read any of that shit.
There was
Hell
also
no.
of Mice and Men.
Yeah, I had to read that one too. I went to summer school for English like 3 years in a row.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't do shit for English. Like, read this. And I was like, no, not going to happen.
See, well, you've matured then.
But I remember I had to read, in summer school, you had to do the work. Plus, you're there all fucking day. You have no choice. Summer school sucks ass. I had to read Voltaire. I had to read Mr. Candide.
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
There was The Death of a Salesman too, I think, was one we had to read.
No, I think I saw the movie for that.
Or maybe they let us watch the movie. I don't remember.
Oh, The Glass Menagerie. That stupid book. Oh,
The
God,
Glass
I hated that
Menagerie,
thing.
Yeah.
And to get through county college, because I didn't want to learn a different language. It just wasn't going to happen. So you can, instead of taking 2 credits or 2 classes of a foreign language, I did extra American literature. So I did American Lit 1 and American Lit 2. And then I took Children's Lit also.
Yeah, it's a good place to start.
Yeah, it was fun. The Children's Lit was cool.
Work your way up, you know.
Oh, yeah, I didn't want to learn Spanish. I didn't give a shit. I don't care about grammar, or it wasn't even about like talking. It was like reading and writing in Spanish, and I didn't care. But how do you feel about this poem? That shit's cakewalk. You know, write a haiku.
Yeah, a lot of Robert Frost in the curriculum too.
Yeah,
Robert Frost.
I read a lot of Edgar Allan Poe just because I was a fan. You know, when they give us.
I went through that phase, and I like read like 10 of his things, and then I was like, forget that.
Yeah. Well,
I have Hemingway back here somewhere. I think I have what do I All Quiet on the Western Front, and there's another one of his. I always remember the one poem I think 'cause I had to do it in 2 different English classes. It was hills like white elephants. Do you remember that one? Having to learn that?
No.
It's like they're talking about it's like they make you read it in school. It has to do with abortion. They're talking about keeping or not keeping a baby, and it's a guy in Spain. That's why I think it's Hemingway, because he spent time in Spain, I believe. And it's like him and his mistress or his girlfriend are not really serious, and they're waiting for the train or having coffee or whatever. But the way it's written, like you're supposed to, like you don't just like read it quickly. You have to like analyze it and realize that maybe they weren't talking fast. They were just kind of like chatting it up, and maybe like moments had passed before the next thing. But I don't know. I could probably teach English too, and just don't want to. But yeah, I don't know. I'll never forget that. Hills like white elephants.
Like white elephants.
So any English teachers ever listen to this, they'll know what I'm talking about.
Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "The world is a fine place and worth fighting for." I agree with the second part.
So, guys, because we were gone for so long, a bunch of stuff has happened. RFK joins Trump's team.
Yeah.
I feel like we should just cover that for a minute. Do you guys have any thoughts on it? Is this good? Is this bad? Is this nothing to you?
Well, did you hear his exit speech?
I didn't hear the whole thing.
Well, basically, he said they're giving him a hard time for quitting, but it's not like he quit. Like he's like, the machine is after me, and they're not letting me. They're fighting me to just even get on the ballot. They're fighting me. I'm wasting all this money. Blah blah blah. They're coming against me, and he's like, the deep state sucks, and they're more evil. He basically said that Trump's not as bad as them, so you might as well vote for Trump.
Who do you truly serve?
The realm, my lord. Someone must.
Well, at least in my opinion, I don't know what happens if Trump and RFK win the, along with everybody else, JD Vance and all. I don't know what happens if they win. I know what happens if Kamala wins. Nothing.
Well,
the same shit that's been happening the whole time that she claims to want to fix. But you've been in the office for 3.5 years. Why are you saying you're going to do this if you're going to get elected? Just do it now. Why didn't you do it yesterday? What?
Technically, she's VP. What does a VP do?
Well,
in her defense, I guess.
Well, when the president isn't like mentally there, I'm pretty sure she's pseudo running the country.
No, it's when he is not doing it. Like he's still alive and technically the president, so it's not like she covers for him when he can't. They're covering for him. She's part of all of the cover.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. She's
in her thing last night on CNN. They asked her about it. Like, do you feel bad having to cover for him? And she was like, no, it's the right thing to do for the country or some shit. And before the last thing is RFK and Tulsi. He didn't tell them they're getting cabinet positions. They're on the transition team. Like last time he won, his transition team was like I know Chris Christie was on it. It's like people who have been there before and know who these people are, and they help you pick your cabinet, as opposed to being like, you're my cabinet. You know what I mean? So those two aren't guaranteed a job anywhere. I mean, they might have some influence, but they're helping him pick the right people for the job. Probably be like, you pick this guy and they'll love you, but they're going to hate you, and they're going to hate you. You're going to have trouble with this guy and this party and this lobby, and you're going to piss off Israel if you do this. You got to put this guy in, politics.
So from what I understand too, it's illegal to promise RFK a cabinet position so that he'll drop out of the race. I don't know if that's accurate, but I've heard that it's illegal to endorse to reward a candidate with a cabinet position if they endorse you. I don't know.
There's a million ways around it. Look at Pete Buttigieg. He's in the Secretary of Transportation right now, and he dropped out to support Biden.
Well, my whole thing is that isn't it very undemocratic for you to not have an election and to literally just appoint a person?
Yeah, but that's a whole different
Yeah,
can
it's
of
different.
worms now.
It's different. But a lot of the people that are that are claiming that this is illegal, again, let's just flip the script back the other way. Is that not illegal? So why are you okay with that, but you're not okay with this? Where's the line? Do we have a line?
There's usually just hypocrisy. There really isn't a line.
Yeah, going back to what she said last night, where, oh yeah, no, it was good. I had to do what was best for the American people. So what you're saying is that lying to the American people is what was best for us? So
yes, Paul.
So yeah, you covered up for Joe by lying to all of us, and this is supposed to be a good thing?
She did it for you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Harris.
Yes, you should be saying thank you. You ungrateful.
You got
shit.
my vote. Thank you. I don't understand just the saying that you're going to do all of these things when you've been in office and you've done nothing.
She's VP.
Okay, she was just the VP.
Well, she did. She was the tiebreaker in taxing tips, right? She was the tiebreaker in a couple of votes that directly go against what she's saying now. I know she's flip flopped on fracking. I know she's flip flopped on something to do with Medicare. There's two more. I know there's 4 big ones that she flipped on, but I can't recall.
Yeah. The only thing about the situation that just surprises me, I don't know about surprises. Like, I guess it surprised me a little. Is just how much, it was Biden, and then as soon as Kamala steps up, the party everyone's just blind. It's just the support. Okay, it's Kamala. I will vote for Kamala. It's just the degree to which that just turned on overnight. It's like wow.
Almost kind of robotic in a sense.
Yeah, very cultish behavior.
Well, I was listening to somebody reported it, so don't quote me 100% on the accuracy. But basically, Joe wanted to stay in, right? Joe wanted to stay in, and then they tried to pressure him out, and he said no. And they wrote it through to the debate, and he still said that he wanted to do it. And then they went after him, and they basically went to him, and it was Nancy Pelosi and somebody else, and then Obama basically came in and said, yo, if you don't bow out right now, we are going to pull the 25th Amendment on you. We got it backed up, whatever. So Biden got pissed, and that's why he endorsed Kamala right away, and that pissed off Nancy Pelosi and Michelle Obama, because apparently Michelle Obama doesn't like Joe, because they wanted to have an open convention. But by Biden supporting Kamala before the convention, he was able to shut down their plan to have an open convention. So Joe's little final fuck you was Kamala, when that's not who the powers that be wanted. Supposedly.
Does the person say who they think they wanted, or who the original target was going to be?
I don't know. I mean,
we could speculate.
I guess. I mean, there was always that talk early on of Gavin Newsom, but California is no prize to being like, I was the governor I was the mayor of San Francisco, and now I'm the governor of California. Look at California. Everybody's leaving, and everything's really expensive. That's like the worst resume to have right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know the Democratic Party that well.
But I feel like they would have flipped it, because again, Gavin Newsom, he's a charismatic dude. He's good looking. He talks well.
Yeah.
I feel like they would have flipped it and made it somehow somebody else's fault that California went to shit.
Well, look how fast, like Jim said, like when it was time to turn the gas on, it was, we are with Kamala now. You know what I mean? She went from nobody to everyone defending her, defending everything she says. She like trying to literally say she didn't say these things that we all know what were said. Like she wasn't the border czar. her opinion on this was she wasn't down there to fix the border. She was supposed to talk to a couple of countries. You know what I mean? And then there's the video of her like, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
Maybe she's
Like-
been there, but that's about all she did.
Yeah, but she wasn't there when she said that. She still hadn't gone. It was like 2 years into her vice presidency. And there's the other shit she flipped on too. But it doesn't matter.
By what has been.
Yeah. There's that one too.
And then
She
there's
does-
apparently people debunking that she never worked at McDonald's. This is so minor, but it's just another lie. You know, like you never flipped fries, you never worked for McDonald's. Why are you saying that? Why are people even having to debunk this?
Well, Joe Biden's uncle was eaten by cannibals. Like like what if I was a Democrat ever, or like even if like I'm pissed at the Libertarians for what they did this past convention, but if the Democrats treated me like they treat their voters, like I would feel dirty. You know what I mean? Like, how dumb do you think I am to let all this, like, for me not to see this shit?
I think that's programming right there. That's programming at its finest.
Oh, speaking of programming, go to let me see Winnie the Pooh. This shit is funny. We got some programmed people right here. Any day now. Sometime. Here we are.
All right,
Hit
Winnie
play.
the Pooh. Oh, I saw this.
That bastard.
This was at the Olympics, right?
That son of a bitch.
Yeah, at the Olympics.
I don't care what Trump did to talk to that guy. It's over for him.
That's funny. So maybe some viewers may not have the context here either.
I support that war.
Winnie the Pooh is like a slang thing for Xi Jinping, right? From China. Like doesn't
Oh, I
have,
have no idea.
I think it has something to do with Xi Jinping or Mao Zedong or one of them from China, and it's like highly offensive. Like Winnie the Pooh in
Oh, the
China's
memes ball.
like canceled.
Oh, there's Paul.
But yeah, so
Nah,
that's-
I have no idea. And why would a North Korean guy be punching it? Shouldn't China be punching it?
I don't know, but it's funny. I guess that's this guy's not happy with China for whatever reason, because obviously that's not Kim Jong Un. But yeah, I don't know.
Do I have any other videos for you?
Sure, I can pull some up. What else?
Well, there's one I said beforehand.
Which one?
Never mind. Anything else that I said that I wanted to show?
No, you do have about the plane crash in Brazil here. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah. That was like the first one of it. Yeah, I guess you can play that. We can talk
That
about
happened,
it.
a couple weeks ago. But
That's how long it's been since we've done this.
I know we're behind. I heard something interesting about this recently. Let me share it first.
Who was on it? What central bank was he part of?
Not central bank, but apparently there were a lot of cancer doctors on this plane. So yeah, you can see it go down in Brazil. Apparently, I'll play it one more time. Apparently there was just like a bunch of doctors on this plane. Again, allegedly. I don't know. This is just what I saw. And they were going to some kind of convention somewhere. And apparently, like, there was 13 or something like that. And, like, 8 of the doctors were cancer doctors and / biologists / researchers. And I don't know, but allegedly at least one of the doctors had some patent working that claimed to cure cancer, or at least some forms of cancer. I don't know. But in any case, the plane crashed and they're all dead now. So, yeah, that's all I got on that.
Well, that was thrilling, Paul. Thank you.
It fell it fell straight down.
What's that, Jim?
It fell straight down.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. It looks like it had some kind of engine problems or something, because I thought the same thing.
It definitely had a problem. But it's not what I'm saying. It wasn't like a run out of gas kind of thing where you could just sort of glide
To
and
safety,
drive
yeah.
the plane in some reasonable fashion. It was just dropping.
Yeah.
I don't know at what point a plane can't glide.
Well, Jim, you know a bit about planes, right?
I've been in a few. That's about it.
I know they don't. Jet fuel doesn't melt steel.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know engineering's his thing, so I thought maybe his expertise might extend to planes.
No.
I didn't know you could fly a plane. Why, yes. Land? No.
But yeah, right? If the engine craps out, wouldn't you just kill the engine and then just coast to...
Maybe show that again, because it...
Yeah, let me play it again. I'll get it with the sound this time.
There's that many people on it. It has to be a good sized plane too, right?
Well, it's going. So
man, it's just dropping. Like there's no air under it.
I think this is just the first one that went viral.
Yeah, it is. It's only like an 8-second clip. But yeah, I mean, look at the way that it's fallen, right? It reminds me of remember New York City where the guy landed the plane over the Hudson, right? So like, oh, he had like engine failure or whatever, but he was still able to glide the plane into the Hudson River.
It's falling like a popped balloon. Like,
yeah, this is just
like it doesn't have its wings anymore.
Tom Hanks did that.
Yeah, Sully was the name of the pilot. Also the name of the movie. But yeah, what would cause a plane to do this? Losing a wing, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know.
It looks like both wings are intact to me.
An explosion in the engine? You know what I mean? Not just like a fire or it's shutting down.
You need to be able to like zoom in, you know, because are the wings still intact?
It looks to me like they are, but yeah. I don't think it'll let me zoom in.
I mean, I see the beginning of the wings, but I can't see it.
I don't know. But even if it had like engine failure, right? Like, couldn't you just, again, I'm not a pilot, I'm not an engineer, I don't know shit. But couldn't you just kill the engine that failed and then glide to wherever you need to go, preferably a runway?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it wasn't a failed, like, oh my God, we have like in the movies where it's like engine 2 is on fire. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Maybe there was an explosion in the engine that fucked up the aerodynamics or some shit.
I don't know.
The pilot's unconscious.
I don't know.
Maybe it hit an invisible wall of the sky, Paul, and it's just falling.
Maybe. Like the flat earthers think that there's like some kind of dome like above us. Maybe they hit the dome. I don't know.
The dome.
I'm not even sure that the earth is round, so I really don't know shit nowadays. It's hard to know what to believe. I don't think the earth is flat, but maybe it is.
I don't know. I've never sailed to the end of it.
Me neither. I'm also, yeah, I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
I guess now that Kamala is going to run or is running, fucking, it's funny that it took her. I don't know why it took her like 35 days. Like, I hate. Like, this is something that the Republicans say. It's like, what took her 35 days to say something? But at the same time, what took her 35 days to say something?
Right.
And even the thing she had last night, she was looking down at her notes. Like, I want to.
I don't know how it changes anything, you know.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, the left is going to vote for the left. You know, the right's going to vote for the right. You know, both sides will try and pull some voter shenanigans, I'm sure, or whatever. And some will be more successful than others, but all of that's going to happen irrespective of who the candidates are.
I do want to see her have to, like, not have the answers fed to her just so she can do more word salad. I mean, if I want to be entertained, if I have to watch this stuff.
Yeah. Just for the entertainment value.
Yeah. What else can we do?
I've also heard rumors that they're again, this is rumors that they're planning on pushing her out. I don't know that there's too much to support that, and we're real late in the game. So if they're pushing her out, they better do it like now.
Well,
she's
how?
I don't know. But just the recent, she's gotten some backlash, like from your corporate news, right? Like I think the Wall Street Journal, or was it the New York Post, said
That's
something.
but that's Trump.
Oh, I don't know. Also, the Washington Post said some negative stuff about her. I don't know.
That is definitely left.
So I don't know, but there's speculation now that they're going to push her out the door and replace her with who? I don't know. I mean,
part of the game is they release nonsense to see how it takes, and they'll never talk about it again if it didn't work. You know what I mean? They'll just push whatever the fuck will go.
Well, it just painted her in a negative light, which again I find that unusual for.
Negative light about what? Did she say she like it could be a counter? Like her own people are pissed at her for not being pro-green enough, or she was too hard on Israel, or she was. You got to remember that. Oh, you all of a sudden you like fracking again, but now you just pissed off California. You know, so they're gonna have to they'll release a statement, or not a statement. They'll throw a story out there to kick you in the ass and be like, you have to remember us.
Yeah. So, oh come on, with the New York Times with this nonsense. But the New York Times had an article that said joy is not a strategy. Again, I didn't read the article, but it's clearly not positive for Kamala just in the just in the title. Let me see.
Yeah, they were calling her out for not. I remember them talking about that, for not being out there, for not taking questions, dealing with the press. You know, and shame on the press for not even pushing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even sure what they would do. Like if they pushed her out, right, last minute, you'd have to have somebody that's like a surefire win, right? And
Wouldn't that be going to skip a vice president again?
I don't know. Again, this is just what I've heard. I'm not.
I don't think there's enough time, unless I don't know. I mean, I guess you never know, but I don't see that as a strategy.
It's definitely not a good strategy. I mean, there's really only one person I could think of that you could shoehorn in at the last minute that would spike votes.
Who?
Michelle Obama. She's probably the only one.
I don't see that. I mean, not now.
I don't know. I can't think of anybody else you'd be able to throw in this late in the game.
Who do you think that is currently would vote for Kamala if something happened to her? Wouldn't vote for the next blue person regardless of who it is.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Okay, so that's what Jim's saying. Like the people who are voting for Kamala are already set. They're already defending her.
They're going to vote for whatever puppet they put in office. Yeah, I agree with that.
The Trump people are going to vote for Trump.
I mean, the purpose the convention serves is to give the Democratic voter the feeling that they have chosen their person.
Right.
You know, it's just a validation thing. It has no real and net effect other than to make that voting populace feel good about themselves.
Drink the drink.
But I don't want the drink.
He doesn't want the drink. He does.
I don't.
You do.
I don't.
You do.
I don't.
You do.
I don't.
You don't.
I do.
You don't.
I do.
You don't.
Listen, when I say I do, that means I do.
Yeah, because again, it's a private organization. They can do whatever the fuck they want. It's their support. They can pull it, throw it, do whatever.
Well, we've talked about this before too. We know that the candidates aren't really selected in the manner that they were intended to be selected.
Some are. It's different for everybody's case. So this is a very interesting scenario that puts Kamala in right now.
Yeah.
And it's all because Joe didn't want to give up the crown, and they rode with it. And they thought they could get it past the people. And in most cases, they did until they couldn't. And now we have this. And they'll go with this until they can't.
Yeah, and to be fair to Kamala, this does put her in an uncomfortable position. Because, again, you just spent all this time lying, covering for Joe. And now you have to, basically take the mantle from him. And what do you say? Well, hey.
But who does she say to who? Like, who do you think, what kind of people are out there that are like, I don't know if I'm going to vote for Kamala or Trump right now. Like, what could Kamala possibly say that makes me go to that side? There's so much of either I agree with everything or nothing. There's not like, people aren't reasonable to be like, oh, I can agree with RFK because I like him on A, B, and C, but I really don't like him on these two. But at least it's not, you know what I mean? Like, there is no compromise with anybody, with the the overwhelming majority of voters, the 45 and the 45%, and it's the 10 in between that are going to sway it.
Well, I know we have that ability because we've talked about that before. We talked about things we like about Trump, things we dislike about Trump, things we like about RFK, things we dislike about RFK. I'm not sure that Kamala's, the majority of her voter base has the ability to do that. They're either all in or they're all out. And
I think they've already been all in. I don't think there's anybody. I don't see her saying anything now that would gain her more votes than she already has.
I agree.
I don't see what she can do to sway people. I can see what Trump might do to screw up and push people away.
But yeah, she's just going to play this, play it cautiously, I think, at this point. I don't know. When I look at somebody, right, and I want to see if they're honest, right? Like, are you an honest person? Are you a genuine person? Or are you like, should I trust the words that are coming out of your mouth? It's really simple. Like, I listen to what you say, and then I look at your behavior. Like, do your words match your behavior? And in Kamala's case, the answer is no, and it's pretty much across the board for me. So, whether she's a good person or not outside of politics, she's a straight up liar as far as I'm concerned. So whatever she says,
what politicians aren't?
Fair point, Jim. I think most of them are liars for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe with an exception here and there,
Well, look at Tim Burchett from where's he from? Tennessee, right?
Tennessee, yeah.
And he's like, listen, they're all fucking blackmailed. What do you want me to do?
Right. I saw that the other day. Well, you got like Tim Burchett.
Everybody's influence, that they're being influenced by powers outside of the American people, and they're not doing what they need to be doing for us. They're the state, and the state does what the state does best.
Yeah. Well, you got people like Tim Burchett, you got Thomas Massey, and they're not, they're not shy about saying stuff like that.
Jordan.
So it makes me respect them more.
I like Jim Jordan.
I don't know if I know.
Because he yells at everybody. He's ahead of like all the committees. The dude he's from Tennessee too, I think.
I think I've seen him.
He yells at everybody.
I think I've seen him before.
I liked Matt Gaetz for like a second.
I like Gaetz. I don't agree with him on everything, but I like him.
Well, I liked him until they put in that Mike Johnson clown.
Yeah, but I don't. He didn't want Mike Johnson originally.
Yeah, I know, but everything he fought for went out the window when they put in Johnson. It was like he didn't say anything at all.
Yeah.
I
think he got blocked.
His whole thing was don't pass huge bills with 100 things in them. Pass smaller bills, and we'll get more stuff passed. And nothing ever changed.
Right. Well, I don't know. It should be an interesting couple months, though, coming up, building up to this election. And I'm just going to fire a question out there. Do they try to assassinate Trump again? What do you guys think? No,
again?
Will they try to kill Trump again? Or do you think this is a one-off thing and then we're just going to...
I think that the one-off thing is still very highly questionable.
Oh, it's super questionable, that's for sure. You got the corporate news is still reporting that Crooks is the guy. Okay.
Well, Trump did say that if he wins, he would make the assassination board and put Kennedy in and release the stuff on JFK.
I saw that. He also said that last time, which makes Trump a liar.
I mean, not to defend Trump, but this time is different than last time.
It certainly is. So, but we can still only just wait and see, if he does what he says he's going to do,
Well, Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think a lot of things around the world are kind of waiting on the outcome of our election too.
Yeah,
You,
no, I mean, I just think it's like, what's the difference? I mean, even from their standpoint, like, I don't see how it could make a lot of difference enough for people to wait on it. You know, like
No, I mean not like I mean
the day
foreign,
after will be
like
much
foreign
less waiting
nations,
for.
like
What's that?
if I'm talking about like nation states, like the rest of the world, like if Putin or China or any little country is going to react, being like, even if Kamala wins, are going to be like, all right, these are the main interests of the U.S. now. You know, it's where her connection, her spider web connects to. And then if Trump wins, he's connected to a different spider web with a different set of agendas. So you're going to have to change based on who it is. You know what I mean? Like, is Trump more likely to push Ukraine or less? And I think Kamala is way more likely to push. I think the whatever the neoliberals are, their version of a neocon is more powerful than has more force against her than the neocons do on Trump. Because I think the Trump is telling the neocons to go fuck themselves. Because that's like Nikki Haley and those people.
Yeah, it's kind of funny nowadays, right? That the Democratic Party is the war party. It's fucking crazy to me. I mean,
technically they're both war parties.
Sure, but yeah, I don't know. When I think of forever wars, I think more of the machine, and I throw Biden and Kamala right in the middle of that machine. Obviously, Nikki Haley's in there too.
What about you, Jim? You think what do you think of if when Trump wins, are they more likely to increase hostilities in Europe, or do you think it's more likely going to be a Middle Eastern thing?
I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm not a huge Trump guy. I'm not really anti-Trump either. But one thing about Trump goes before his political career. I always thought he was a person who could get people in a room and make a deal.
I'll give you that. Yeah,
that's sort of how he, you know, built his whole career and really accomplished everything he's accomplished. And that kind of a thing applies in politics, especially with foreign nations and their leaders. I think he still has the capacity to get people in a room and come out with a deal.
I think that strategy is better played in the Ukraine theater than that would work in with the Middle East and Israel. Because even last time when he was in there, he pushed for those Abraham Accords, and everybody he got credit for making this great peace deal when all he did was basically bribe the nations around Israel with 5th gen fighters and new combat technology, and no one included the Palestinians in that talk. And the Israelis loved it because they get everybody else to go along, and nobody said a word about the Palestinians. So they get what they want anyway. And everybody else now, foreign nations have. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not like you can just give someone an F-16 or an F-22 and they're going to be like flying it like Americans do. So, I mean, I saw they already lost an F-16 yesterday or the day before. And it could be.
Manual for those things has got to be pretty hefty.
What's that?
The user manual for those things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The F-16s just.
Let me see.
No, I got it. Some jerk didn't put.
I know what
got
I
it, though. This
mean
I'm
when I
fine.
say oops. What do you mean saying oops there?
Well, you say we try that one again, huh?
Yes, without the oops.
Doesn't this thing come with Cliff Notes? What the?
F-16
that turns it on.
Sorry, Billy. What were you going to say?
There was an F-16 shot down the other day, one of the first dozen that hit, and that's been 2.5 years of that war. And the F-16s just got there, and one already got either. The first report was that it crashed, and then it could have been shot down by a Patriot missile, which is awesome because that's ours too. So right now, what I saw, they were interviewing it wasn't an interview, it was like a press conference with the the Department of Defense and the journalists or whatever, and like, can you confirm that it was actually a Patriot battery, air battery, whatever, that shot down the F-16? Like, we can't confirm or deny that. So basically, we gave them F-16s and missiles, and they shot down the plane with the missiles.
John, I'm sorry. They got us.
So, I think it's going well.
Yeah. Good job, USA.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, yeah, I guess we're gonna see how all this plays out. I mean, we're what, 2.5 months away from this? 3 months away? We're getting there.
No, we have like it's September basically.
Yeah, right. So September,
Well,
October, November.
10 weeks. We're looking at 10 weeks or so.
Wow.
I just want it over with. I just want to see what happens.
I mean, it is exciting, isn't it? Like when have we had an election like this?
Come on, man.
What's that?
So come on, I'm bored. You know, this is like the, this is like,
well, no incumbent, so that
Yeah.
definitely, if nothing else, we'll have something different to talk about.
this is like the Two Towers. It's a boring filler till I get to the end.
Right.
You must be talking about the movies.
Yeah, I actually never read the book.
That was Lord of the Rings reference, right? That's how I took it.
It was, yeah.
All right.
That was the worst of the movies.
It's the weakest of the three films, I think, because it's the middle.
I think the first one was the best.
I agree.
Well, just the book. You know, if they'd stuck to the book, they would have been better off in the Two Towers. You know? This wasn't made. The book is made for movie. It's like a couple battles and whatever, but they switched it up a lot. I went out to see that in the movies with a buddy of mine, and he was not a big Tolkien guy like me. But I was ready to get up and walk out in the middle of the movie. The only reason I stayed is because he would have been like, "What the fuck, dude? I'm watching this movie." You know?
So did you not like the film adaptations, Jim?
Visually, they were awesome. Well, mostly, you know, they're pretty on point. They were good that way. Most of the acting was very good. It was mostly
Smeagol.
You know, and when they have to take stuff out because they don't have time, and they have to make little adjustments for that, like whenever you're making a movie off a book, I get that. Like, I understand like what things has to be changed to make it fit. But there was just a lot of material in the movies that did not happen in the books, and they were cutting stuff at the same time. So it's like, look, you made up all of this stuff. It took 20 minutes. With that 20 minutes, you could have done all this stuff that you just skipped over. Like, there's just like a lot of that I'm, just aware of because I've, read them so many times. And so this stuff's like they're annoyances. So it was good. I enjoyed them, but they also bothered me at the same time.
I couldn't stand Smeagol. I hated him. I hated the whole character.
Oh, yeah. That's a tough thing to pull off in film, really.
Yeah. I mean, there was a couple of funny parts, like in the third one, when he kept calling Samwise like fatso. It's like, you fatsy little hobbitses. Like, that shit was kind of funny. But the most of him talking and the master, like, I just got so annoyed. It's like Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, he's, the original Jar Jar, right? But he is an important component because,
of course, yeah.
Just the ring wouldn't have gotten destroyed otherwise, that kind of thing. So,
oh yeah, I get it. You can't cut him out.
So Jim, I never read the books, but like off the top of your head, like what's one of the biggest things that they added to the film that you really didn't like?
Well, like one that stuck out in Two Towers was when Aragorn gets separated from the group during some battle with Wolf.
When he falls off the cliff.
Wolves, and then he's lying by the river, and his fiance comes out of nowhere to save him. And like none of that happened. It was completely contrived. The whole thing, everything with Arwen in it. Arwen wasn't in the books at all. I mean, she's mentioned, but not in it. The only time she's in the books is at the end of the third book when they get married. It's the first time you see her.
Oh, so she doesn't save Frodo in the beginning? in the first
No,
either?
that's a elf lord from Rivendell called Glorfindel. Glorfindel does it in the book. One of my favorite parts of the book, and yeah, Glorfindel is like old school, like Galadriel, one of the oldest elves, and yeah, it was him. That it's another because they made Arwen's role. There's a lot of additions with Arwen to make that role worthwhile.
Because that's one of the coolest scenes I think in the first film, where she, where she's on that side of the river or whatever, and challenges them to come get her, and yeah.
Give up the halfling shield.
If you want him, come and claim him.
Yeah, well, that happens in the book. It's just not her. It's
Right. She's given some Glorfindel's role, you said.
yeah, but that part happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he doesn't show up in the films at all, I don't think. Glorfindel.
No.
At least not that I can think of.
Yeah, they cut out a lot of they were published as 3 books, but each book had a book 1, book 2, and then there was a book 3, book 4, book 5, book 6. He wrote them as 6 parts. And if they had done a movie for each one of those, they really probably could have done it all properly. But like book 1, which is them going, book 1 is from when the Bilbo's birthday party until that what we were just talking about, that scene at the ford when they get to Rivendell. That's the end of book 1, and they skip so much of that. They just they walk out of the Shire, they roll down a hill, and they're in Bree. They cut out like 3 chapters there. It's just like
I remember the first one came out when I still had an illegal cable box, and because there was only like 2 pay-per-view channels, and that movie was so popular, it was just on 24 hours a day on both channels, and I hated everything else on TV. So I would just play it, and I'd be playing StarCraft 1 all night long. It was just movies playing over and over and over again. Yeah.
I remember those days with the scrambler boxes.
The scrambler.
Yeah. Then they went digital and all those things became useless.
Shame. It's a real shame.
Jim, you did you've watched the extended versions though, right? Because I'm guessing that they throw a lot of stuff in that they did cut out.
No.
Oh, you okay? Because there's like a good 40 minutes that are added to like all three movies.
Yeah, I think it's more like it seemed. I've only watched the extended once or twice, but it was like more of the same scenes, maybe, or like another like a part they skip was one of my favorite parts is at the end, after the wars in the 3rd book, when the hobbits go home, they find that orcs and half orcs working for a guy named Sharky have taken over the Shire and have like thrown all the hobbits in prison and all this stuff. And you got Merry and Pippin in their armor from Rohan and Gondor, and in the books this, and you see it in the extended versions too. They make reference to this, that when Merry and Pippin drink the Ent drafts, they grow, right? They actually get much taller, and so they're going back like as the biggest hobbits anyone's ever seen in full armor on horseback, and like it's called the Scouring of the Shire, that chapter where they go back and they organize the hobbits and they throw all those guys out.
Oh, good shit.
Yeah, and that's like my favorite part. It's the coming home of the travel of the of the well-traveled war veterans. These hobbits are like heroes, that kind of thing. And they skip that, and they're throwing in all these other scenes that didn't happen. That's just very frustrating. So there was a lot I liked about it, but it could have been, if they just done the books, like it could have been so much better to a Tolkien fan, I guess.
It's fair. I've actually heard that before about the Shire being destroyed, or but yeah, they obviously excluded that.
Well, maybe one day.
Yeah, read them.
I got a stack I got to get
I
to.
haven't been able to get my kids to read them, and which doesn't make sense. They love fantasy. They're both linguists. I mean, one's a history major, one's a linguistics major, and they love fantasy, and I can't get them to read Tolkien. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I got a good 8 books I have to read before Christmas. Or I can't get any more books. Those are all the ones I got from last Christmas. No, it's not like I haven't been reading. I just haven't been reading the ones I'm supposed to be reading.
Yeah, I don't read that much as I should anymore.
Any other videos, Paulie?
Yeah.
I don't have anything else unless.
All right. Well, I want to do a rest in peace to Sid Justice. You see that Sid Justice passed away?
No, he did?
Yeah, the wrestler.
Oh, no way.
He is the man! Sid is here in ECW!
It's a shame. Yeah, one of the best, man. That was a big. He was a good villain.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sid Justice, aka Psycho Sid, aka Sid Vicious. Sid Vicious, I think, right? I don't know.
Well, he's a punk rocker.
Yeah, I know, but I don't remember if Psycho Sid also went under that name or not. I don't remember.
Oh, gotcha.
There was I was watching an interesting podcast before. It was Michael Schellenberger, and there's a podcast. It's called Dad Saves America, and he's like a libertarian kind of dude. And anyway, they were talking about Schellenberger is from. He ran for governor of California. Paul, you've heard of him, right?
Yeah, he's a journalist.
Okay, so he was
good.
on there, and like it was an interview about Schellenberger, and he was talking about a book I could have sworn that I read in life, but when they started actually talking about it, and he's like, the one guy's like, I could have sworn I read it, but maybe I didn't. I felt the same way. It's Man's Search for Meaning. You ever read that? By Victor. It's like a Hemingway book.
Search for meaning.
Anyway, Man's Search for Meaning. It's not that long. I think it's only like 100 pages. But it's like one of those life-changing fucking books. Victor, look it up, Paul.
Viktor Frankl?
Yeah, Viktor Frankl. That's it. And this is like his masterpiece or something.
His magnum opus?
Yeah. What's the little summary about it? But I was gonna bang it out tonight, but I think I'm gonna check it out tomorrow.
It says, Man's Search for Meaning is a 1946 book by Viktor Frankl, chronicling his experiences as a prisoner in Nazi concentration camps during World War II, and describing his psychotherapeutic method, which involved identifying a purpose to each person's life through one of 3 ways: the completion of tasks, caring for another person, or finding meaning by facing suffering with dignity.
I don't know. It sounded kind of interesting the way they were comparing it to all the shit that they had been talking about throughout like the hour and a half episode. And Schellenberger wrote, I've only read part of the book because I forgot I had it on Audible, but it's called San Francisco. And it's about like basically the California policies and how they destroyed the city and the woke movement and children and propaganda and censorship and all this good shit. It was a really good interview. And it was, if you want to check it out, maybe I'll send you the link and you can attach it to the bottom of the show, Paul.
Okay.
It's Dad Saves America. It's the newest one. I like that dude. Usually his episodes are only about an hour or so, but it's a dude, kind of our age, and he thinks, like a libertarian, economist does, and he kind of talks to famous whatsoever people. You know what I mean? It's just like a regular podcast, but it's cool. So yeah.
Yeah, send it. I'll put it in the link.
All right,
I'll put it in the description.
I guess that's it. Keep it at like an hour today. Hour and change.
Yeah.
All right.
Wasn't talkative today, but
it's all right. So I guess like and share the video because that apparently helps us. And like share it with the people that you know. Like what the fuck? Share the shit on Facebook. Share it on Twitter.
Share it with the people that you don't know.
You know us. Why not? Spread a little love for us. Even like it if you don't. Leave a nasty comment if you want. You know what I mean?
I don't even like this, but I'm gonna like it.
Yeah, exactly. I like everybody's stupid pictures of their kids and their pies and the crappy food that you eat. Or you're like, oh, I'm selling essential oils or I'm selling lotion or some shit. Like my made up business. Okay, I like that shit. Can't share my fucking videos.
Yeah, I don't like the made up business thing.
Are you calling out somebody in particular? It sounds like you got somebody in mind.
No, like farm. I helped everybody's little farms out once.
Farms.
Well, right on, gentlemen. Maybe we'll just cut it there, and not so much of a gap between videos in the near future for sure.
Yeah, I'll do it in a couple days.
So.
All right. See you later.
Happy Labor Day.
Oh, happy Labor Day.
Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am.